Story Warriors, Story Warrior Associates, Story Warrior Friends, all the amazing tellers out there, the amazing artists, the amazing creators, please pull your seats, get closer to this virtual fireside. Bring your seats, bring your own drinks on you. Okay, not on me. Come closer because it's about to get really hot in here. I have the amazing, the incredible Pantoja, the potentialist, is in this building. I have never been more excited. As I said, pull your chairs closer around this fireside because you have never met any more fascinating personality, creator, artist like Mr. Pantoja. Hey, Mr. Pantoja, welcome into studio, Mr. Potentialist.
Good to be here. Good to see you, Gideon.
Wow, bro, this day is a special day for me because there are very few men that I know that have trekked the surface of the earth like you. You see, some people don't know who you are, but I've been blessed and fortunate and privileged to know you. I've seen you hold a show with 3,000 people inside hell captive, but that's not the reason why I brought you on. I've seen you preside over as the director of the Shakespeare Festival on Lake Tahoe, but that's still not the reason I brought you in. I have seen you in action, leading 6:01 p.m.
It's
for
6:01 a.m.
months. Yes, for months, and yet that's not the reason I have asked you to come. I have seen you produce poetry, cultivate young people, do murals, you do all kinds of creative projects. But that's still not the reason I decided to ask you to come in. The reason I think you are truly in a category of your own as an unsung hero with an untold story, a trailblazer, is because the potentialist himself, I've seen you drive well over 70 miles in hardcore snow to open a tiny little basement for young boys about the age of 13, 14, 15 to paint away their struggles and forget about growing up in America. That's why I think you're in a category of your own as an unsung hero. I truly feel blessed, bro, to have you in this studio. Nevada, former Nevada artist in residence. You've done it all. You've seen it all. What is it that you've not done? The potentialist. Is there anything you have not done?
I'm looking for it. So I think David Bowie said it best. He said, when you go out into the water just beyond where your feet can touch, then you're in the right place. And so I'm constantly searching for that moment.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm always in awe and in honor of who you are and what you've been able to do in Nevada and beyond. But I've seen you work in Nevada with young guys who were considered somewhat like down and out. Sure. But you had a special skill and a special way of bringing them back and rehabilitating them through the use of art. What is it about art that you're so passionate about and you help young people to find themselves through the use of art?
Yeah, I had the privilege of getting to be a teacher for 20 years, and I've the other things I'm doing, I've taken that over, so I don't get to teach anymore. But there's something about reminding people, wherever you're at in life, that you can take it and make, in my case, into art. But that and your art may be a bakery that you really want to open, or you have a great idea for a new app that would really save people a lot. It's there's a real joy in reminding people that they are free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've seen how you've given freedom to young men, young women who had virtually considered themselves down and out. And you molded right in front of my eyes one of the most phenomenal poets, young poets I've ever seen. And you coached her, you mentored her, and she went all the way to the White House. She defeated everybody in the state, in the city of Reno. She defeated everybody in the state of Nevada. And this young lady went all the way to the White House to do poetry out loud in front of the former President Obama. And she came home with some honors. You know whom I'm talking about. Unfortunately, this young lady is no longer alive. I'm talking about Emily Oriana. You mentored her, you coached her. I thought I could teach public speaking, but poetry certainly not my thing. But you did something that I've never seen anyone do. And she just continued to shine and glow and glow and glow. What is it that you see in young people that other people don't see?
Yeah, it's not about what I see. It's just giving people permission to be themselves.
Mm. Mm.
Um, you know, public speaking's hard. I think it's one of the what is the joke there? The number one fear in the world, and the number two fear in the world is being set on fire. And so
Yes.
people, they'd rather be set on fire than get up and talk. So who she was is very brave individual.
Yes, she was brave, but you also brought out the gem in her. And I observed the process, and I knew whom you were, and I knew what you were doing. You're baking into her the confidence, giving her the permission to shine, and she did just that. Uh, and she was not the only one that you molded. And for those who are just joining for the first time and they're wondering, what are they talking about? This is the Story Warrior channel. My name is Gideon Fomokwai. I call myself the Story Warrior because I help people to tell their stories. I help business people to tell their stories, to use their storylines as lifelines for financial success, to use their storylines as lifelines for success in anything that they do. And in studio, we have Mr. Pantoja, the potentialist, telling us how we can give other people permission to be themselves. You once gave permission to our students at Rain Shadow Chartered Community High School to paint a massive mural up on the hill. Tell us about your love for murals and for bringing in young people to paint away their struggles or to reveal what is residing in their minds and their beautiful minds.
Yeah, I just got to do the latest mural festival and put a really nice mural in the capital city of Nevada. And I've had the pleasure of getting to paint, since I was 12. Big on walls, and one of my professors when I was in college said, "You're a funny artist because you like helping or watching other artists succeed as much as you like making it yourself."
Yes. Yes.
And so, there's just a lot of joy. There's just a lot of joy in
yes,
letting people create. So
yes, I have observed you give them this permission to create and to blossom when other people are trying to suppress that. You have a special gift for helping them come out and thrive. When I think about the murals, at least those that I saw, about how many murals have you painted so far? If you could maybe throw a number. And some of them are really massive.
I don't know, in the hundreds, maybe. Yeah.
Oh my God. I have never met anybody else who has painted hundreds of murals. I don't even know anybody who has painted 2 or 3 murals, let alone dozens and hundreds. And what are the stories that you tend to tell on your murals? What are the stories that you tend to paint out there on these large surfaces? One of them was a water tank.
Oh yeah, I did. I think this was a long time ago, but I did one called "Water Over the Bridge" and "Water Under the Bridge." They were just building a new bridge, and the city asked me to paint instead of the messy boards that were lining the street for miles. They asked me to paint this design that I do. So it's this beautiful bubble water design went for miles. So I painted that over the bridge, and then I did one under a bridge, the Rapid
Wow.
City block.
Hmm.
It's just interlocking shapes and shades.
Hmm.
And they, when you look at it, you can see anything you want. But for me, I'm painting my like life. I'm like, this is me. I got up and I took my kid to school, and then
Hmm.
I went and talked to this person and worked on this project, and this was my
Hmm.
daughter who was little, and
Hmm.
so it's all it's
Okay.
all in there.
So it's stories of humanity, and some of that you're depicting yourself with family, with friends, with projects. But I find it fascinating. Water under the bridge and water over the bridge. That that's very interesting. Uh, when you paint, you obviously I've read some of the books you've written, and they're not like you cannot put them in one box. You paint, you design, you do poetry that's almost uncontainable. Is that coming from your philosophy of the potentialist? Because it's not like you cannot put in a small, tiny square like, oh, this work belongs to this age or that particular genre. It's always cross dimensional. What inspires this multi cross dimensional approach to your work?
There are many of us. There's potentialists, and we have the pleasure of sometimes working on large projects together. The thing that's
Mm,
common is that we believe to be a modern artist that you should be not a jack of all trades but a master. You should be a singer, be a musician, be a
mhm,
poet, be
mhm,
a playwright, be a
mm,
painter, be a muralist, be a sculptor,
mm.
be a performance artist, be
Yes.
and that way when you're creating a piece of work, we feel that then you can not have it. You can let the work shine in its best light, and maybe I always say that maybe a painting is a better opera, and
Oh,
maybe
painting is
maybe
a better opera.
you're
That's very
painting and you're
interesting.
like, oh, that's an opera, and
Yep.
maybe it should be an opera, and you should have the freedom to do that.
Wow, painting is a better opera. Okay, that's very interesting. I never thought about it that way. But when did you discover that there's something hidden in you that you needed to express as an artist? When did you start to, discover that special gift or talent or itch inside?
I think if you're a bit weird, you know, and or if you don't know, the others around you will let you know that you're a bit odd.
Okay.
Maybe what are you?
Yeah. Like, who are you? Okay. Okay.
So I think anybody who has that disposition knows what I'm talking about. So you
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. And those who
born
don't
that
know, don't
born
know.
that
Those who know, know. Is that what you're saying? If you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to explain what it's like to be a real artist.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Very, very cool. Let's unpack some of the projects that I've seen you do. Uh, Nevada artist in residence. I think you had that special privilege. I mean, there are millions of people in Nevada, and there are a lot of creative minds in Nevada. But to have been the Nevada artist in residence, I think that was around 2009 or 10 or thereabouts. Can you recall how that worked and what were some of the highlights of that?
yeah, I'm still on that list, and that's a privilege. I appreciate them, and different. And I got that when I was very young.
Oh,
Uh,
no kidding.
yeah, so I was very early 20s. I might even have been
Hmm.
21 or 22, and
Okay.
um, that was very helpful. Have we known each other that long, Gideon? I guess we have.
Oh
Huh?
yeah, we've been
Yeah.
around for a
Well,
long time.
we've been around.
Yeah, we've been around the block. We've been around the block.
Yeah,
So
that's
I try
amazing.
to be careful what I say because I know you know a lot about me.
Yeah, that's
At
funny.
Rain Shadow, when I came in, when I was still sharpening pencils in before Vicky even came in, I was basically, you remember Joe Ferguson
Yeah,
and all those great guys, Sam O'Brien. I was sharpening pencil, but you walk in tall. You're already an established expert in your field. And slowly but surely, we started to get to know each other. But I'll tell you the moment when I really thought you're the most phenomenal uh, pro I've seen in the marketplace. But I want to recognize it was around 2007. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
2007. So it's easily more than almost close to 20 years.
Amazing. Yeah. But if you, and I don't think it's just for artists, but you get like little sparks. I think Bukowski said that, they like your fire almost dies out and you just get a little bit of fuel.
There you
And
go.
someone says, "Hey, you're good," And I've had a lot of moments like that. I got to be the poet laureate. That's
Yep.
a huge honor.
Yep.
And it's just they pick one of our projects, or I get to put a sculpture in a predominant state-owned. Say,
Mhm.
hey, keep going. So,
Yep.
and I know everybody needs that, and certainly artists.
Yes.
It helps the fuel. Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's go back to your philosophy of potentialist.
Sure.
Who is a potentialist and why are you a potentialist?
Yeah, I think that I have an old poem if you want to hear that.
Oh, absolutely. I knew we're coming to something like that.
Okay, we should. Yeah, we'll do an old poem.
Yeah.
So I said this poem when I was 18 years old, and um, basically they happened to be all old bearded men that were in charge of the art thing, the art where I was, and they basically told me to prove it. Go prove it.
Yeah.
And I think I have, but here's the poem. I'm a potentialist, and I want to take it too far. I want to leap off the edge of the energy I put out, swim in the unseen, and drown in the unknown. Y'all come on with me now, potentialists. And we'll let them bookkeepers define us long after our bones are dust. See, we stand ready to shape these image-saturated landscapes we're bombarded with, and then 4-count beats that everybody walks to. Stop it. See, rhythm is a matter of opinion, and opinions do sway with whoever blows hardest. What are you screaming in my ear? You slinging all that fear like volume equals passion? Well, I promise to you, and by you, I mean this everything, this now, this everything, this now, this everything. I promise to you to always see this world as an infinite act of creation, to see the endless possibilities in nothingness in no form, to stand defiant in the face of impossibility, because to do this is to live every single day inspired. See, I'm a potentialist because I know no matter how deep the dirt gets, no matter how many wars I'm born into, no matter how many ways you try to divide me, I know that I can turn it into art. I'm a potentialist and I'm never wrong. I'm a potentialist and I'm never wrong. And I see this in you. I see that potentialist in you. And you're never wrong either. Great.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Talk about you make it look easy, but I know it's not easy to do spoken word with that kind of ease, with rhythm, tap, tap, tap. And I know you're multi-dimensional. You play flute, you play drums, you do all of it. And you've always integrated this into your art in one way or the other. And how do you find the time to learn all these genres? Painting, poetry, sculpting, you name it, you've done it.
Yeah. I don't. I think I deal with time differently than everybody else. I don't
Mm.
know what time is. I know that I was to show up when my alarm went off to tune in and talk to you, my friend,
Yes.
because my alarm told me to.
And I'm
But
the lucky guy.
yeah, but I'm not. I'm not really interested in time like that. There's
Mm.
time.
There's plenty of time to get done. get, get done whatever you need to be
Yeah,
doing, right?
yeah.
That is really cool. That's so interesting. Now, time is not it's not a resource that we should be wrestling with. If you need to get something done, just get it done because that's what is required. You want to play the drum, go play the drum. You want to do poetry, go do poetry. You want to go do sculpting, go do sculpting. You want to do whatever, go do it. Okay, let's unpack one of those amazing projects that you did. Was it called 6:01 a.m. or was it 6:01 p.m.?
Yeah, 6:01 a.m. was an opera, a hip opera that
Hip
we.
opera.
Yeah, so it's a hip hop, and this was before that was popular. This is before Hamilton, and
Yes, I almost said that was the prelude to Hamilton. That was definitely the prelude to Hamilton
yeah,
because you got the hip hop guys. You work with a huge cast of guys. Were you preparing the way for Hamilton?
I just thought that it would work and it was cool, and we got the Philharmonic to do it. Those projects are very expensive, and we were all so young. I think I was 21 years old.
When you did that?
Yeah, and
Really?
yeah, 22
Wow.
at the most.
Wow.
And
I
then
had no idea you were
yeah,
running that whole cast of easily over 60,
60.
70 guys. And
Yeah.
I had no idea that you were that young at the time.
No, it was really terrifying, and I would wear oversized suits in sometimes classes, so
Just so
that
that
they wouldn't like be like, what is this going on?
just so that you look very important and look very
Yeah,
wise and
it's
old.
so funny what you do. Yeah, when you're yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then that was a real turning point I think for our city artistically as well because
Yes.
that in a big way we went to their top house,
Mhm.
and we packed it and I think it just really like seemed after that there was an artistic burst and that is continuing to this day here.
Wow.
And that was a real special moment. And Richie Pinelli, he goes by the Apprentice, and he's still making music. He's still releasing music videos and is performing with amazing stars. He's an amazing star.
He
Uh,
was like a musical director also.
he wrote it was based off of his music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
And was
yeah, yeah. So and we turned, and that was a real. Uh, 601 AM, a working class opera was the name of it, and
mhm.
it was great. It was a real strong moment for
You packed the Arlington Theater
the
in Reno.
the Pioneer Center. Yeah,
Is it Pioneer Center with almost
yeah,
3,000 people?
yeah, almost
And
four.
I was in audience. I brought myself, an elderly citizen by name Mr. Joseph Agbo, and a few other family members. It was impressive. It blew my mind away. So when Hamilton came like a decade later, I was like, deja vu. I've seen something like this. Working class people doing incredible work. So is there anything in the works to revive that? Because I think it could blow up pretty big. I
Oh,
know it wasn't picked up.
you guys still like that one. Yeah, I hear that all more than I should. Maybe we should look at that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's hard for me to go back to things because I have a lot of ideas, quite frankly, and I don't.
Half the
I
time.
I just
Yes.
keep going forward.
You
So
move
it's
forward.
very
Don't move backward.
difficult for me to go back and look at
Yes.
stuff that I've done before. But
Yes.
I hear that so much. Maybe I should call Richie up and say, "Hey, what do you think? Should we do this again?"
Where's Richie today? Pinelli.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's a great example of a potentialist. He's a doctor and a hip hop star. He's a
Wow.
very famous MC and a real doctor, an MD.
Still in Nevada or out of Nevada now?
He's never left Reno. He reps Reno. He
Wow.
gets to perform.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. He gets to perform all with amazing.
Interesting. Sam O'Brien was part of it too, right?
Sam is. Yeah, I just ran into Sam the other day. It's good to see him. He's still funny. He's still doing well and is moving forward in his career. So, yeah,
Do you do you realize how envious I was you never invited me on that into that project? You later on gave me a bone to eat on some other project, some other small project that you were doing. You gave me the
oh,
role of
that
a
movie you
public.
were in is
You gave me a
hilarious.
role of a public speaker, and I
Yeah,
appeared, and I was doing my thing. I think you saw me performing at a prison. You said, "I like that skit. I like that skit. I want to
yeah,
design a role for you to come and speak, come in like a public speaker, and I love that. I think you shot it at Rain Shadow Chartered Community High School in one of the classrooms, but I was sickly envious that you never invited me to be part of the working class, and I knew I was a working class. Or maybe you thought this guy got a weird accent or something.
No, I didn't. I didn't know you wanted to be in it. Buddy, I'll get you on the next one, Gideon.
Oh, well. I'll be delighted if I have the I don't know if I have the caliber to play with those guys, but it was amazing what your guys were capable of doing. And with months and months and months of preparation, they delivered at a level that was Hamilton guys. They look at it, they'll be like, okay, these are brothers, these are true brothers from another mother.
Yeah,
Let's try to
that was really powerful moment. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yes.
That worked at all. And then yeah, to watch it hit, like to watch similar things go to Broadway.
Yes.
I mean, and no one. I mean, a lot of people saw ours and they heard about it, but it didn't. It didn't. You know,
get picked up.
We didn't continue to push it.
I think it was far ahead of its time. That's what I think. It was so far ahead because even hip hop was getting appreciated then, but not so much. So, but most of those guys too have disappeared. I don't know, they're in all kinds of fields. If you could recreate that, that would be awesome. That's just my take. What about hosting or directing Shakespeare Festival on the Lake Tahoe still in Nevada, but on the other side around what's the name of
it? So I did those. I wasn't directing. I was in the mall. My buddy Joe Atack. He actually became he just got the executive director job there. So he's like,
wow. Okay. So
yeah, he moved up the ranks, but we were doing shows for them, and that was really fun. And I did that with him for a long time. I hadn't thought about doing Shakespeare in a long time. Thanks for reminding me.
I don't know if it's as cool as 6:01 a.m. for working class, but there's a market for Shakespeare, and I know that there's a bigger market in my view for working class issues, whether it's political messages, whether it's sociological contemporary issues. There's so much more packed in 6:01 a.m.
Yeah, that was great. And then I got after that, I did almost a decade of original works that we produced out of a few small theaters that we built.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, we did social. We stuck mostly to social issues, and they were very powerful works. And we did one a month for a long time, almost 10 years, 7 to 10 years. I can't remember.
Wow. Exactly. Yes, that's when I disappeared from the scene. That's when I think I went up north to Oregon, then I went to Singapore, then I came back. We still kept in touch because when I came back to Reno around 2015 or 16, I noticed that you had evolved and you were more involved in spoken word or poetry out loud. Tell us about that segment, because there was a coffee house right next to Truckee Meadows where you performed like regularly. Tell us about the spoken word time.
That coffee house is gone, but that was great. And Ian Watson and Tony Walker at the time, and then it was me, Tony, and Ian on the bank account only. But it was Spoken Views.
Spoken Views, that's right.
Spoken Views is still going today. It's still going really, really strong. It's a huge following every Monday at Shims.
Yeah.
Is the Spoken Views open mic.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not gone downhill at all.
No kidding.
And it was neat to be a part of starting the poetry scene that is so huge now here. So, that's what a neat time. What a great time to be here. I feel really lucky in a lot of ways. I got to see the creation of a lot.
Wow. Now, you may not recall this, but the day first I knew from our first encounter, we had a conversation. Your screen is blocked. Okay, you're back. All right.
Oh, perfect. There we go.
From our first encounter, our first meeting, We exchanged some pleasantries and moved on. Then you were hurting your own students. I was hurting my own students. But there was one day at the Arlington Park where I was struggling with my students, and you came in and you demonstrated finesse, your understanding of how these guys work, which has remained forever etched on my memory. And I've actually gone on to use it in public speaking uh, presentations, and people get fascinated by it. So I was struggling and calling the students to come back so that we could walk back to class, and they didn't pay any attention. And then you walk in from the side where I think you had your own students, and this is what you literally did. And literally, these guys, they freaked out. And then you beckoned on them, and they were still looking like that, which is what I've been doing for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and nobody paid attention. And then you reach out into your pocket, and I don't know which rendition you did, but you did something like, all of a sudden, those guys were fixated. They didn't even know that you had a tiny little instrument on you, and probably you never show that to them. They ran back like a pack of what, like a pack of rats. They ran back and they said, "Hey, Mr. Pan, can you do it again?" You did it one more time. Mr. Pan, can you do it again? You did another time. Mr. Pan, can you do it again? You say, guys, he who pays a piper dictates the tone. It's time for you guys to walk back to class with Mr. G. I stood there like a kid in a candy store, like, thank you, Mr. Pan, because I didn't know what to do with those guys. And then, very reluctantly, after you charmed them, they could not resist walking back to class with me. They will walk back to class. And when I regale that story to people, they think that I'm making it up. But you were the guy that pulled out your harmonica, and you're the guy that inspired me to go buy a harmonica and learn how to play it against all odds, even though I cannot read a single musical note. So I'm giving kudos to you, because without you, I would not have learned to play that instrument. And without you, I would not have known that it's cool to be a fascinating instructor or teacher, because you get to draw your students in and use your magic on them. So it's really credit to you, bro. And I cannot thank you enough for that.
That's funny.
That moment you sparked something in me.
Yeah, no, I think the secret is that no matter, even if they're little, just treat them like a human being.
Yep.
Like because they all, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta meet people where they're at. So it's,
Yes. Thank you. Meet them where they're at. And I know anybody uh, who knows a famous guy by name Paul, who was a preacher. He always met people where they were. He did not try to pitch himself as I'm better, I'm higher. No, he always met them where they were. And that's the reason why he was able to bring so many people to listen to him. So you've always met your students where they are, and then you prod them and nurture them and taken them to places they could not dream to go to by themselves. I think that's the reason why I still continue to think that the potential is not only the most phenomenal of the artists that I've met, but it's a true Renaissance man who is always learning and always giving. In recent months, I got wind that you have designed and put in place a new, call it a studio, a museum, something powerful where you're showcasing the work of other artists. What is it all about?
yeah, we wanted to bring together a lot of ideas, so we created this space, and we've been at it for a very long time. Potentialist entity has existed since, meaning the Potentialist Workshop, its existence since 1999 in different forms. This latest iteration is really neat. It's got a gallery, it's got artist studios, recording studios, it's got a full immersive, meaning you were part of the art when you walk in. It's like walking into a whole different world.
Wow. And this is in Reno.
And we built that in Reno, yeah.
It's got a gallery, it's got a recording studio, it got an immersive studio. You call it the House of Infinite Potentials.
Yeah,
that's a crazy good name.
Yeah, when the potentialists make a large exhibit like that, and this isn't the only one we made. We've made many of them over the years.
Wow.
we call ourselves House of Infinite Potential when we do that. So we're just in the house. We're making different rooms in this giant house that maybe only we can see.
Wow.
But people can definitely see this. You can literally walk you can walk into a giant sandcastle, the Grump Grump Swamp. There are little people that live in there. It's great.
No kidding. Which part of Reno is that located in?
That is at 836 East 2nd Street, the Potentialist
so
Workshop. And if you just ask your whatever robot you have for directions, it'll take you to Potentialist Workshop.
Yeah. Get your robot. Your robot better know about the Potentialist Workshop downtown Reno, and that's amazing. Do you see driving from Fernley, or you've relocated to Reno, so you're closer to big project like this?
I haven't lived in Fernley in almost 15 years. Yeah,
that shows how out of touch I am, right? It shows I'm very out of touch, but still connected in some ways.
Yeah, no, that was great. I did get the honor of making a 35-foot desert tortoise that sits in the middle of Fernley. It's a sculpture out of granite.
Desert tortoise in the middle of Fernley, Nevada.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a sculpture.
Yeah, it's pretty good one. So I left them with something cool before I
left. Yep. You basically, once you've built it like a Leonardo da Vinci or Leonardo, you can move on to other things, right? So Fernley can say that one of the amazing citizens has left. No, you put something there, planted something there for eternity to see, and then you can move on. So I have to put that on my wish list when I come to Reno around September to make sure that I drive out to Fernley and see this amazing giant tortoise. What's the story behind the tortoise in the desert?
We won a National Endowment for the Arts grant, and with Burning Man.
Okay.
Arts Foundation, and we got to put a giant sculpture. It's actually very odd because it's also laying an egg, which is an odd, like it's an odd.
It's laying an egg, so oh my God, that's pretty cool.
To the back of it, it's laying an egg, which is very odd. But from the front, it's like, oh, it's a sculpture, and then it gets weird.
How large again is it? What's the dimensions?
It's a 35-foot tortoise.
35 foot. That's incredible, and it's laying an egg.
Diameter. It's not 35 foot tall. It's probably about
wide,
12 to 15 foot tall.
Wow. So it's right up there, and laying an egg. What color is the egg anyway? I didn't even know that.
It looks like a desert tortoise egg. You'll have to check it out.
Oh my God. And again, that's another infinite concept from the potentialists. Now, how many potentialists have you nurtured or cultivated over the years that are doing their own thing, but they're affiliated with your brand?
We have potentialist artists all over the world, and it's not something that I cultivate, or it's just something that they seem to think this is what they're doing already.
I see.
And it's fun to find other, strange people.
Yes.
That you can run ideas or challenge each other. Colin O'Brien, our lead build, says it best. He says, Pan, you always gather together. Everybody's an alpha. No one needs to be here. Everyone runs their whole own thing. And somehow you get all these alphas together to create something. And he's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't do it. I just respect everybody a lot. And I think they're amazing. So
I absolutely agree on that. Absolutely agree a lot. You just respect everybody and just make them feel comfortable around you. Did you say that quote is from Conan O'Brien?
Colin, yeah, he's our lead build. I don't think he's not related to Sam. I don't think, or they might be. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Wow.
And we have potential artists all over the world. We have a friend in Rwanda, Pacific. He runs the Neo Art Gallery in Kikagara in Rwanda, in the capital. It's a big deal.
I heard about that project. That this guy came from Rwanda. You I don't know if you nurtured him or you gave him some other ideas, you gave him another springboard, and then
I took the time to get him into America. It's not easy. You gotta wake up at 4 in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning, to talk to their embassies, and we were the first ones to get him into America. Now they're all over America. So
wow,
they've shown in art galleries all over America.
that's amazing. I did
Yeah,
not know that you actually helped in bringing this gentleman in from Rwanda.
yeah, yeah. International artists, tough. Yeah, but worth
Oh,
it. And I thought Pacific was worth it. I thought what a young genius. So.
that's really cool. And let's go back to the House of Infinite Potentials. You mentioned one of the rooms. It's a fun house and about 20 rooms, so almost sounds like it's a maze. If I get out there, go visit it, am I gonna get lost?
It can seem disorienting. People spend a lot of time in there. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, you can crawl, like, go up things and down things, and who knows where you'll wind up. So.
And is this project sponsored by City of Reno? Did you get it from Common Fund from your artists? How do you put this together? Because I know funding is always a big challenge for artists.
I will rarely try for any kind of government funding, or we're a business.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sell something, like we got to be in this building because of that tortoise I told you about earlier. So I sold that.
So the revenue from that enable you to be able to facilitate this project, this mega House of Infinite Potentials.
Yeah, that got us into Potentials Workshop, and then we built this up for years, and then we also helped create Art Space. So a woman hired us to create Art Space.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got to build this latest exhibit. Otherwise, that would have been very difficult. The size and I told all the artists, I said, hey, if you're this time, imagine that it's going to go to an art museum, and what would you make then?
Exactly. Okay.
Like, it's going to go to a modern art museum, and
yes, I see.
And then so that was our what we were shooting for with this exhibit. Not possible without her becoming a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the little miracles like that that help this keep going.
Would this be a permanent exhibit, or would you after some time tear it down and send it to other places?
After some time it'll come down. We have it open for 6 months right now. That'll probably get extended to 8 months.
Okay.
Based off of what's going on currently, and then we'll trade it out. We're hoping to get a trade going with other cities, with groups that do similar things.
Yeah,
and we'll get it. Maybe they can bring their exhibit here, and we can bring our exhibit to their city.
Yep.
So we're big dreams.
Amazing. There was a time I did a book launch in Reno, and guess who was one of my finest performers? It was yourself. I don't know if you remember that, but you came in with some teeny tiny drums. I don't know, cymbals, whatever it was, and you did some powerful stuff that was so magical, sublime, and you blew everyone's mind away. I don't even know the name of it. For whatever reason, I didn't ask you what kind of drums it were. They was like so tiny, small, but you did a little tiny repercussion with it, and it was like, wow, it blew my mind away. But the reason I say that is just to let everyone know that if there's a true Renaissance artist, it is Mr. Pantoja, the Potentialist. And you've been featured in a lot of magazines, a lot of works. What are some of the places where your work has been featured? We're almost starting to wrap up here.
Oh yeah, I was with a publicist for a long time, and they got my books out. LaRue Press. I don't know if they're operating anymore. I did switch out from that. And then Nevada Humanities recently published. Recently, meaning in the last couple of years, published a group of my poems, which is really fun. And then I just like magazines, so I've had illustrated for many people over the years, or done little things for different projects, which I really enjoy.
Yep. And you you tend to uh you go into areas that nobody's thought about, and you conquer, and you put a footprint there. What are some of the projects that are coming up in the next few months or few years that you'll be working on?
Yeah, so this concept of that I just described of this building, I
Mhm.
think that I think that every city needs that.
Oh, I see.
So I'm going to work very hard to get a potentialist in as many places as I can.
No kidding. And would they all be upside down lands? Because I know that you mentioned that
That's
the
just, yeah, that's the name of, yeah, Upside Down Land is the name of this exhibit. We've done,
yes,
our last exhibit was just called House of Infinite Potential. That was from Miami Art Basel.
yeah,
We helped our friends with one called A World of Our Own,
uh-huh. The
led by
world of
Holly.
our own. Hmm.
And yeah, that one was led by Holly, and they did that at the Potentialist. I thought that was pretty cool. And
Hmm.
then we did one. My favorite one of I've done tons, but my favorite one of all time was one called "The Five People You Meet at the End." And
There's
so
five
and
people
so
you
you
meet.
go. It's all blocked off, and you just hear noises, and then you go in, and the first room is a TSA, and you hear "Welcome to the end." You will no longer need any of your daily things as they are now worthless. And so people were stripping down naked and putting it in baskets and sending it down this
Uh-oh.
conveyor belt, and then going through this exhibit. And I thought it was phenomenal.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The five people you need at the end. That's interesting. And you're still running because you're no longer teaching high school. I don't
No, I
know,
don't
college,
teach anymore.
but
Yeah, I got to teach college and grade school and high school and
Mhm.
middle school. I did it. I taught for 20 years, and it's just I think I can reach and teach more people with what I'm doing now,
Yeah,
just living and being myself and creating.
fantastic.
Um,
But your potentialist workshops, are they still running?
yeah, we have every Wednesday we have the life drawings, a new drawing in gallery every Wednesday, and our projects are open always for interns and people who want to come.
Oh, is it by
And
invitation or everyone can join if they want to, get
it is
some
it is by tryout.
by trial? And do you get to give some support to those who are working, give them some ideas, or they work on purely on their own ideas?
Um, the we if they're coming on, we're working on a larger projects where their ideas are absolutely indispensable. And so
Wow.
I need people with very good ideas.
Yep, I can imagine. I can imagine. Okay, how can people find works or find you online or in person if they want to uh, probably salivate, observe, learn from you? How can people find you? Because you're doing
Yeah,
so much.
Potentialist workshop on every media.
Mm.
Anywhere you want to look up that word, you can
Yeah,
find it.
potentialist workshop.
Yeah,
Okay, but
yeah.
okay. Is there a
Savage.
dot com? Is there a dot com or is it a
Yeah,
dot
we have
net?
a potentialistworkshop.com is our website,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, it's so yeah, you can get Potentialist Workshop anywhere. I'm on all of those platforms as Pantoja as well.
Okay.
And then my works are sold through Savage Mystic Gallery is my current
Savage Mystic
gallery.
Gallery. What is that based in a city?
It's based in Reno, and that's who is my current dealer. I've had many dealers
Okay.
over
Hmm.
the course of my career, but that's my current dealer, and I like them. So
Fantastic. Now let's start to close here with some what I call rapid fire questions.
okay,
Um, for those who don't know, they don't know, but for those who know, they know you are Mr. Pantoja, the potentialist. Tell us who is Pantoja, the potentialist.
uh, Pan is trying to live in the now and not defining himself in any way.
Hmm. And what about the potentialist? What is it all about the potentialist? Is it a philosophy? Is it a
It is a philosophy that can apply to anyone, And it's simply looking. I say at the end of that poem that you heard earlier, "You're never wrong." And I don't mean you should be a jerk and not apologize when you mess up with your wife or girlfriend or husband or boyfriend. Don't be that person. But what I mean is that you take your mistakes as opportunities, and then you're.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk about 3 ways that you advise a young or emerging artist to make money today.
Yeah. So the number one thing I'm going to tell you, and the other two are completely secondary. The only thing that you should do as an artist is focus on your art.
Focus on your art.
Make something amazing.
Okay.
And something that you really mean.
Okay.
And that you want to tell the world.
Yep.
And all of the other things fall into line. Get a business if you have to.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. You know? So the first thing is focus on your art. Do amazing quality art, and everything else will follow. Now,
yeah, you'll know what to do. If you do that, you'll say, "Oh, this is going really well. Now I need a store." Okay.
Okay.
And you'll figure out how to get a store. Oh, now I have a store. I don't know. I need a business. I don't know how to do this. I need a business. I need to learn business.
Yep.
Okay, so then you'll learn business.
Yep.
But you'll do it all because you made something that great.
Okay. Now, do you? What are 3 career highlights for you? 3 career highlights. I know, sure, Nevada Artist in Residence is a big one, but maybe from your perspective, that's not even the biggest. For me, what are some 3?
I got to go on a bus trip with Tom Franco and many amazing artists around the entire United States, and they filmed the whole thing. And wow. We got to make art in every major city.
Yep.
And that was really fun.
Tom Franco, yes. I heard about that project when I was still in Portland. You're going to come through Portland, but it didn't happen. How many cities did you go to?
Yeah, we didn't do, we stopped at the Bay and LA. So we didn't go up, but we went everywhere else. South, east.
Yeah, but I didn't go north.
South, yeah.
Ouch. Any other 2 highlights? Or that's cool. That's we'll leave it at that.
that was great. Being poet laureate was really.
Poet laureate. When were you poet laureate, if you don't mind?
That's good. I was poet laureate during the COVID years.
Oh, COVID years.
So I really felt a responsibility to be uplifting and help people.
Yes, sir.
And that was what an honor, because I got to go to rock and roll shows with my band, and they would introduce me as a poet laureate of rock and roll. And I thought,
wow,
man, that's the coolest thing ever.
Of course, absolutely. Why not? Let's go off here a little bit. Do you prefer poetry or peace?
Oh, poetry.
Okay.
Let's talk about the heightened moment.
I could see that one coming. Coffee or tea?
Coffee guy.
Coffee. Oh yeah. You love coffee. And margarita or vodka?
Oh, got to go tequila, the margarita.
Okay.
You gotta dance, baby. You gotta dance.
Drums or harmonica? Better get this one right.
Ooh, I often am seen with a harmonica. I'm gonna have to.
Please, you have to. Because I learned the harmonica because of you. If you get the wrong one there, I was gonna do something so stupid. But this has been an absolute honor to have you in the studio. Do you have any last poetry out loud piece? One quick piece you want to throw in there, just to get those who are still in their dreamland to wake up? Do you have anything? If not, that's okay.
Yeah, sure. This is for everyone.
Thank you.
This is for them who stack bodies to reach their fathers, and told stories of giants and making love to star people in desert heat, who beget babies of unspeakable wealth, who harvest yet more metal flowers from the scorched earth, who arrived here from Martian soil to force logic death down the throats of Athenian princesses, whose kundalini moments awaits us still. Yes, who beget babies capable of loving all the creatures of this earth, producing strange fruit and seeds of abominable Greek nature, who rule in our rule in spinning top fashion, taking turns in this feudal roulette. who created communicative devices to replace what is natural connection and abilities the rational mind simply cannot comprehend, who bend spoons and spout fortunes and sideshow acts for skeptic skeletons and energy vampires awaiting a savior or a second coming. Well, I've been coming all over this world since puberty failed to suck the magic out of my heart. And I say to you wayward wayseers, oh, you backyard soapbox speakers, you forward peace thinkers, we're going to master blast you right out your sneakers. I say you are he who sets us free. And you are she who frees all humanity. And we are the people old seers said would come into flower-minded fields and blooming heart chakras, dancing with the moon, knowing full well we can never really touch her, breathing in the earth, resting in her bountiful bosom bliss, reshaping creation, imagination manifested fully, walking ancestral dynasties into the present, and there is no time like now. So undress your spirits, stroll naked down your city streets and small town courtyards, proclaiming, shouting with the voices of 1,000 seraphim angels, I know the truth. Wealth is not measured in belongings or bonds or gold. And I know the truth. You are infinitely larger than your bodies. Endless is your soul. And I know the truth. Power is laughing at those who seek to control. And I know the truth. You're not alone. You are so not alone. And I know the truth. There is more going on than my eyes can see. I know that truth, and it has set me free.
That is amazing. And we did not talk about you performing anything at the end. And look how magical it was. You said worth is not measured in belongings. For all of you out there who still thinking and dreaming that worth is only that which you own and hold, beware of the truth spoken by Pantoja, the poet laureate, but more importantly, the potentialist. It's been an absolute pleasure, brother, to have you
It's
in the
good to see
studio,
you.
and I will forever blast off this vuvuzela in your honor. Everybody who is a story warrior, if you know yourself, you know the world, you better listen to. Okay, all right, I'm sparing it for today until we meet again with the potentialist. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, Gideon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.